If you thought today's biggest automotive story couldn't get any more interesting, wait until you hear what happened.
When I first read today's headlines, I honestly didn't expect the story to take this direction. There's a lot to unpack.
So grab a coffee, settle in, and let's dive right into today's biggest automotive stories. Today we're diving into a topic that's sure to spark some nostalgia among automotive enthusiasts. Citroën is bringing back the iconic 2CV, but this time it's going all electric.
I love that. The 2CV holds such a special place in automotive history. It's fascinating to see how they're reviving this classic model with an electric twist. What prompted Citroën to make this move?
Great question. The 2CV was originally launched in 1948 and became emblematic of French culture. It was affordable, practical, and incredibly efficient. Now, with the global shift towards electric vehicles, Citroën sees an opportunity to modernize it while staying true to its roots. They want to appeal to both nostalgic fans and a new generation of eco-conscious consumers.
That makes total sense. But how do they plan to balance the charm of the original 2CV with modern electric technology? The simplicity of the old model is part of its charm.
You hit the nail on the head. Citroën is definitely walking a fine line here. The new electric 2CV is set to retain that quirky, minimalist design, which is crucial for fans of the original. However, with electric drivetrains, they're introducing a few advanced technologies under the hood, like regenerative braking and a more efficient powertrain.
Regenerative braking in a classic design? I can already picture how that will change the driving experience. Do we know how the range and charging times will compare to other electric vehicles on the market?
As of now, the specifics are still a bit under wraps. However, Citroën has hinted that they're aiming for a practical range, likely around 250 kilometers on a single charge, which should be sufficient for city driving. The charging infrastructure is improving across Europe, so they're banking on that, making it easier for drivers to find charging stations.
That range sounds promising for urban commuters. But why does Citroën think this nostalgic approach will resonate with today's drivers? It seems like a big gamble to revive a car that originally peaked decades ago.
You're right, it is a gamble. But Citroën is tapping into a broader trend of retro revival and sustainability. The 2CV symbolizes not just practicality, but also a simpler way of life, something that resonates in our current fast-paced, technology-driven world. By electrifying it, they're merging that nostalgia with modern values of sustainability and efficiency.
I can just imagine drivers zipping around the city in this little electric gem, feeling that sense of freedom the original offered. But do you think the younger crowd will really embrace it?
There's potential. They're savvy and value brands that are authentic and meaningful. If Citroën can deliver a product that feels genuine, with elements that remind them of simpler times while being environmentally friendly, it could resonate well. Plus, how cool would it be to see those iconic styling cues on the road again?
Absolutely. It could spark a new wave of interest in vintage designs. And let's not forget the marketing angle. Citroën could leverage social media to create buzz about this revival, appealing to influencers and eco-conscious consumers.
That's where the automotive industry is headed. Brands are not just selling cars anymore, they're selling lifestyles and experiences. The 2CV could very well become a symbol of that shift, especially as cities prioritize sustainability.
Speaking of sustainability, how do you think this revival might impact the perception of electric vehicles in general? Could it help soften the image of EVs, making them more approachable?
That's a strong possibility. When you associate electric vehicles with an endearing classic like the 2CV, it humanizes the technology. It becomes less about the specs and more about the joy of driving. It could definitely help in changing perceptions about EVs being only for tech-savvy consumers.
It's exciting to think about how a car like this could shift the narrative around electric vehicles. As Citroën moves forward, it'll be interesting to watch how the public reacts to this blend of past and future.
Definitely. The success of the electric 2CV could set a precedent for other manufacturers. Imagine more classic cars getting the electric treatment, turning nostalgia into a sustainable future.
Now that's a future I can get on board with. I can't wait to see how this project unfolds. So, what do you think will be the biggest challenge for Citroën as they work on this electric revival?
The biggest challenge will be staying true to the spirit of the original while incorporating modern technology. If they can manage that, they could tap into a market that's not only looking for efficiency, but also for emotional connection.
It'll be fascinating to see how they navigate this challenge. The automotive world is changing rapidly, and the return of the 2CV could signify a new chapter in electric mobility.
One thing is for sure, it's an exciting time for car enthusiasts and the industry alike. Thanks for joining me in this conversation, Maya.
Thank you, Alec. I always enjoy discussing these developments with you. Until next time.